Again, good morning, everyone that's been trickling in and joining us for this Mastering Catalyst webinar session. An hour of pro tips and expert guidance. And yeah, we're really excited to get started. I'm just going to kick it off quickly and cover some of the basics, just to what to expect during this session. And then I'm going to hand it over to Cameron, who's going to lead us through it for the next, hour-ish. Again, yeah, roughly an hour. We're going to stay on as long as needed to answer questions and really go over everything. This webinar is really meant for you, our members, to learn a lot, but also to be able to ask us questions throughout the webinar. The best way to do that is to use the chat function. Should be in the bottom of your screen. Type in your question. You can send it directly to us. You can send it to everybody. And we'll be monitoring that chat. And we actually have quite a few members from the team here. We have Josie, we have Isabel from the Katalyst team. You can see them there on video. They will be in the chat function, answering questions, communicating, and really helping us throughout. We'll also be bringing them up towards the end of the webinar just to be able to verbally speak to them. So no question is silly. Ask as many as you want. This is truly the purpose of this webinar. This webinar is also recorded, so if you can't stay for the whole thing, we totally understand. We will be sharing this out afterwards, both the recording and the slides, so you can have that as reference. And then lastly, I'll say we do have a few survey poll questions that are going to be popping out throughout the webinar. So keep an eye out for those quick ones, but it's a great way for us to get some feedback and insights on what you like, how you use the Katalyst suit, and more. But I'm going to stop talking and hand it over to Cameron.
All right. Thank you all for joining today. I'm Cameron. I'm on our care team here at Katalyst, one of our care specialists and EMS specialists. So if you've written into support before, chances are you have chatted with myself or Isabel. So nice to be here in kind of a different format with you all today and get you nice and comfortable and confident navigating Katalyst moving forward. So we've got some really great stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk through our guided series, our modes, levels and workouts, intensities, app navigation, how to set up the suit nice and fast as well as comfortable, our different content publications, and some good Q&A as well. So getting started with guided series, we had received some really great feedback from our members that they were looking for a little bit more guidance on how to use Katalyst or how to incorporate it into their routine, or really just looking for those plans to follow rather than just choosing ad hoc workouts and plugging them into their schedule. So we recently released a really great 6-week Build a Habit guided plan. It's designed to take you through your full first 6 weeks with Katalyst with 2 workouts a week, which is really our recommended cadence. Each workout will introduce you to different aspects within the app, as well as tools to use, the different modes of working out, strength and power specifically in this one, and our different levels. So it does a really robust job of taking you through Katalyst as an interface and how to use EMS training as a whole within those first 6 weeks. So really enjoyable and informational and nice to carry you through your first month and a half with Katalyst. In addition, we also recently released our beginner and advanced intro programs. These are 2-week programs, and these are really great as well as you're getting started. We like to recommend using these after the 6-week program, but welcome to do as you choose between the two, but a really nice follow-up after the 6-week there. In addition, we've also created some other guided series, some focused on functional fitness, joint mobility, just to name a few, and we have some other in the works as well. So really great, again, just to take you through a plan if you're looking for that guidance, or help you start to formulate a workout plan that will help for specific goals or training methods that you have in mind. Awesome. So our modes, Catalyst is really unique in that our training system offers four different modes to train in. We have strength, power, cardio, and recovery. So we're going to quickly run through all of these different four. Strength and power are kind of like our bread and butter, I like to say. Strength is going to be our most popularly talked about. You get a 4 second rhythm within your workout. So you have 4 seconds in a contraction and 4 seconds of rest, as you probably noticed if you've been training in strength mode. This is designed to increase your muscle strength. This has slow and controlled movements within the strength workout. So like a really slow or controlled like bicep curl or an overhead press. So kind of thinking that single movement within a contraction or an impulse. And again, used to improve muscle strength, endurance, and muscle growth. The strength mode does target your slow twitch muscle fibers just based on the hertz or the frequency that it's running at. So really unique there and very specifically targeted. The power mode, similar to the strength, and it will feel very similar in that you have that 4 second rhythm. So still at 4 seconds on, 4 seconds off. It is a higher frequency, so it is targeting your fast twitch muscle fibers. So really great for using to build dynamic movements or more ballistic movements such as jumping, sprinting, throwing, or kind of thinking like you're taking that muscle you've built in strength mode and making it really functional here in power. So these workouts, you'll see more fast-paced movements or multiple movements within an impulse. So you're doing like 3 really fast overhead presses within an impulse. So a little bit faster pace there. The cardio mode feels very different than the strength or the power. It almost feels like a little bit of like a drumming through the body, and it is a consistent impulse. So you're not getting that cadence of 4 on, 4 off. It is continuous throughout the full session. It is a lower frequency, so you're not getting that full muscle contraction and release. It just kind of feels like an external stimuli on the body. This is designed to improve your basic muscle endurance. So it's adding that external stimuli into the muscle and making the heart and the cardiovascular system work harder to power the muscle that is guiding you through the workout there. Um, Backpedaling a little bit here, and I'll say for cardio mode can be used up to every day, and in addition to those strength and power modes. Backpedaling to that strength and power, these are designed to be used with about 48 hours to 72 hours of rest between those sessions because they are so intense and effective that we need to give the body time to recover. So, strength and power, getting that nice rest in between. Cardio can be used every day, and recovery mode can also be used every day. Recovery mode feels very similar to cardio, but a little bit more of like a twitching than a drumming. Designed to increase blood flow and help wash out muscular waste, lactic acid, things like that, and just help your muscles recover faster. Again, since this is a little bit less intense, it can be used up to every day or in addition to those strength and powers. And yes, that nice disclaimer at the bottom of the screen, again, recommended 48 hours of rest between your strength and power modes. All right. So we also get asked a lot how to incorporate Catalyst into your average week or current workout plan, how often to use it, things like that. So we have laid out here what a week with Catalyst may look like. The column on the left is going to be someone who's just looking to use that Catalyst 1 to 2 days a week and stay within that smaller window there. So you can see you have the power workouts, day 1. We're getting that nice chunk of rest on days 2, 3, and 4 before we hit a strength workout on day 5. And then we can see that cardio workout plugged in on day 2, right under that first day of power, because that can be done up to every day or in addition to. So just a nice little layout here to see that rest that's needed or kind of how to alternate your days here. That second column is going to be someone that is training with power or strength 3 times a week. So at that higher range of what we recommend, you can still see those full 2 days of rest between your power, your strength workouts there, and then those nice plugins as well as recovery sessions or cardio mode as well, tandeming before or after those strength or powers. All right. And Catalyst for a golfer, this screen is really unique. We like to focus a lot on our golfing community just because of the great effects that we've seen with Catalyst in our community there. But this slide really could be interpreted for any activity that you enjoy. So whether it is pickleball or marathon running or whatever your activity is, you can kind of ad hoc that in here as you wish. But specifically for golfers, as we're going to talk about today, it's really great for golfers in increasing swing speed, enhancing rotational power, getting those nice explosive movements, reducing back pain that may come with golf, increasing balance and stability, and all of those great things that are great for golf, but again, also great for many other sports as well. The important thing to point out here, I guess what's most informational is in this column here, seeing we have a strength workout and our power workout with those nice 2 days of rest in between, cardio in tandem there right after your power workout day. And then seeing we get that nice amount of rest 2 days after that power session before we're heading into our activity or golfing. So still making sure you're getting nice rest between your catalyst and the activity of your choice as well. All right, levels and workout intensities. Another very frequent question that we get here. We'll start with levels. So it is a common misconception that our levels correlate directly to the intensities that are within a workout. So if you're doing like a level 4 workout, then the intensities must be much harder within that session, which is not true. So your intensities are not determined by the level of the workout. Rather, the level of the workout is determining the complexity of the movements that are programmed within that session. So level 1, you're going to see more simple static exercise movements. So like a just standing bicep curl or standing overhead press. Level 2 through 4, you'll see movements that start to level up through balance, stability, or things that just require more body awareness. So like unilateral work, work standing on one foot, things like that. So just more complexity in the movements, level 2 through 4, whereas level 1's a little bit more stagnant there. And then intensities. So everyone's intensity will be different based on your preferences and the ways that you adjust them. But starting out, there are default intensities. So your first time logging into Katalyst and doing a workout, you will be set at the default intensity there. So for males, it will start at 82 roughly. For females, it will start at 57 roughly. And end double whatever that starting intensity is. So I guess backpedaling into that starting intensity there, it is predetermined your first time by gender as well as age, body composition, things like that. And then you're welcome to adjust it from there however you wish. So as you enter a workout, you'll see that first minute of ramp. So the intensity will start very low, like an 8 or a 10, and slowly ramp up to that starting intensity of 82 or 57 as you're getting started there after that first minute. During your workout, you have the ability to manually increase your intensity as you wish, or let the software increase your intensity or the trainer increase your intensity. If you let the software or the trainer run with it, that intensity will roughly double throughout your session. If you continue to make manual adjustments, it will still continue to increase and roughly double, but also be more than double because you've tacked on a little bit extra there. What we're really looking for in these starting intensities is just making sure that you're feeling a full muscle contraction. So we're looking for more in that strength and power mode than like a drumming or tingling through the body, and looking for that full pickup and squeeze of the muscle as well as that release. So we're looking for something that feels effective and intense and not leaving you wondering, like, is this actually working? If you're questioning it, there's a good chance your intensities are too low there. So we like to say ending intensity over that 100 plus mark is kind of a telltale that you are within that good working window there. All right. And then a little bit about our in-app um, screen here. Overall intensity decrease is that nice minus button over on the left. And we've got our increase there over on the right, that nice plus button. A nice, I guess, tip on this would be if you ever pause a workout, you can decrease your intensity, but that plus button will not work as your screen is paused. This is just a safety precaution to make sure you can't jack up the intensity while you're not feeling the impulses. So just something to be aware of. We do get that question frequently that the plus button isn't working, but most often it's because the screen is paused there. Your overall intensity is there in the middle of the screen. So this is taking the average of all of your intensities within your muscle groups and displaying it there. So when I was talking about intensities prior to this, that's what I was talking about, that average overall intensity there in the middle of the screen. We have an individual muscle group adjustments button. We call this the channel drawer. So this button will open up all of the different muscle groups, which we'll see here in a second, and allow you to manually adjust each of these muscle groups. This is really important to do within your sessions just to make sure the full body is feeling nice and even. Your bigger muscle groups, like your quads, your middle back, your hamstrings, will require higher intensities than smaller muscle groups, like, say, the biceps. So, really going into that channel drawer and making sure we're adjusting everything nice and even is super important to a great experience. You also have the ability here shown on the screen to group those muscle groups by the upper region or the lower region, the vest and the shorts, and increase or decrease all of those as a whole. Within that channel drawer as well, you have the ability to turn off a muscle group. So you will press and hold that little jelly bean button for the muscle group. It will gray out the button and cross it out, and that will indicate that that muscle group is turned off. So if there's ever a day you don't want to work your quads or your hamstrings, you can turn those off, and so that they are receiving no impulses there. You also have a stop follow button here on the bottom right of the screen. This will turn off the trainer's manual adjustments. So they're on the other side of the screen, upping your intensity throughout the workout. If you ever reach a point where you've had enough, but you still have some time left in the workout, that's when you would use this unfollow button. So if I reach 140, I've had enough. I still have 5 minutes left, and I know Max is going to crank it up a couple more times. I'll hit that unfollow button, and it will just stay, it'll keep your intensity held right where you're currently at. So, almost just like a pause button for that intensity. So it no longer increases and won't decrease either. All right. We also have some really great integrations here. We have our Apple Watch integration, and the Apple Watch is a really great partner within your Katalyst workouts. To note, it is not fully integrated with Apple Health, so you will not see the calories carry over yet at this time, but a really great handy tool to have right on your wrist that will help you read your heart rate during a session and also give you the ability to adjust your intensity. So you have that plus and minus button right on your wrist, which is really helpful to not have to travel over to your screen and hit those buttons and just have it right on you there. You also have the ability to AirPlay or screen mirror your device directly to a smart TV, simply just by opening your device navigation there and selecting AirPlay from your device. All right. And pairing your impulse pack. So, this is also a very common question or hiccup that we run into. So, if you have not paired your impulse pack before, or if you ever think you will get a new device, you're upgrading your iPhone or purchasing an iPad, this is important to listen to because you will have to repair or pair for the first time your impulse pack to that device. So, most importantly, here, we like to go into settings and make sure we haven't previously paired the device. You would see it listed as like KAT and then a bunch of numbers after it. If you do see it there, you want to forget this device. Also within our settings, we just want to make sure that Bluetooth is turned on there. So that's the first place we're starting. Then we're heading into the Katalyst app as pairing will happen there and not in the device settings. So just simply opening the Katalyst app, leaving it on the home screen there or the screen that it opens up to. And then we are grabbing our impulse pack, and I'll display here, and we are pressing and holding that power button. So we're pressing and holding until that blue light turns on and then rapidly speeds up. So we can see it got a lot faster there. And then I will remove my finger, at which point the request to pair should pop up on your device screen. If we're turning on the impulse pack and only seeing that initial blue light blinking speed, we're not quite ready yet. So we want to hold that button until it rapidly speeds up because there is a difference there. Once you do get that pop up on your screen, you are just selecting to pair, and then you will see the battery icon in the upper right corner display the battery of your impulse pack, and that will let you know that it has successfully paired there. Okay, and fast setup of the suit. We're going to first talk about wetting the suit. So moisture is really important in EMS training. We need moisture to assist with the conduction of the electrodes into the skin. So we have a spray bottle that we provide. This is the recommended way to wet down your suits. Typically takes our members about 3 to 7 minutes. I like to time myself. I'll turn on like a Taylor Swift song and see if I can get everything nice and wet by the time the Taylor Swift song ends. It's just a nice little challenge to give yourself there. So just a couple of moments it takes to wet everything down. We like to hold that spray bottle nice and close to the pad, and recommend using warm water. You can use as warm of water as your body can tolerate, but just keep in mind you're wetting everything down and placing it with direct contact onto the body. So nothing too hot where if it was on the skin for a couple moments would be uncomfortable. So just that nice like lukewarm temperature water makes for a lot more comfortable experience than like an ice cold water there. I am going to transfer screens here and go over to my arm pad and show you guys what that will look like. So quick transition here. All right, so I have my arm pad laid out. We can see the two electrode pads here on it, as well as the Velcro there on the back, but just displaying how we like to wet down these pads. So I also have my spray bottle. I have previously pumped it a good amount of times till I'm feeling resistance here in that press. And then I'm going to take my pad that I'm wetting and directly insert that nozzle into the pad. So I'm not hovering a couple inches above it. I am directly touching that pad here and giving full contact. So as I'm spraying, I'm going to all four corners of that pad, getting everything nice and wet here. And totally okay that there's water pooling up to the surface. We'll just let it drip down onto our towel or whatever we may have here. But just making sure we see that full color change and full moisture. And a good way to test that we have enough moisture on each of these pads is by pressing fingers into the pad. We should see a little bit of water pool up to the surface. I don't know if it's transferring well to the camera here, but I can see human eye. I've got some good moisture coming up. So a big difference there in that injecting than hovering way over and possibly missing some spots or not getting enough moisture into that pad. One important thing here as well is that this pad is multi-layered. So by injecting, we are making sure that that water is getting all the way through that surface, through to the other side of the electrode, and that it is nice and wet to work effectively on the body here. All right, and another quick transition here. Awesome. So that was wetting the suits. We are going to next talk about ideal suit fit or how to put your suit on, fit it to the body best to get the most proper experience here. So tightness and compression is also really important with your Katalyst. So we are looking for that nice hug in around the body, a full compressive fit, nothing that feels like it's cutting off blood flow or restricting your breathing, but something that feels nice and tight. I like to say that we feel tactical as we suit up because everything is sucked and hugged in and feeling nice and supported there. When we put the suit on, which I'll show in just a moment here, We are adjusting the vest from the bottom up. That is a really important tip. And we are doing the vest first, shorts second there as we put everything on. If you're ever feeling like a tingly or stinging sensation through your suit, that is a good indicator that the pads may not be wet enough. So maybe you are just hovering that spray bottle rather than injecting it, or that you might not have adequate compression. So the suit might not be snug or hugged in tight enough to the body, just kind of creating that sensation. So we always check those two things first if you're ever feeling that. We're also going to talk quickly about the arm pad placement as well as I suit up here. So I'm going to grab my suit here behind me and show you guys the way we like to suit up. So I like to keep mine on a hanger out in an open space. It just makes for good airflow and allows for the suit to dry out nice as I finish up with it after each workout. We also store it with all straps completely loose and not tightened down. So my suit is connected vest to shorts. Also, pro tip, I like to hang my armbands right on my vest here. So my Velcro from my armband is just hanging out on the Velcro on my vest. So it just keeps all of my pieces together there. So everything is connected. I'm going to slide my vest on just like a regular old jacket here. And we zip up the vest first. So vest is going on. Give it a good zip here. And then the shorts go on next. So the shorts may fit a little bit different on everybody depending on frame and torso length. But the key part for shorts, no matter who you are, is that they are across the low hips. So across the low hip bones and at the very, very bottom of your vest. So if I were to wear my shorts the way I would wear my pants, they would be way up here near my belly button. That is not the way we like to go with Katalyst. It is going on across low hips, lower than I would typically wear my shorts there or my jeans. So once I have that band on, I am buckling in here and then giving a nice pull, getting everything nice and snug there. I'll then do my thigh pads, stepping back here so you guys can see, and buckling in my two straps there. And then before I tighten these down, I'm giving a nice pull of that strap down towards the knee. This will help the glute pads on the back sit a little bit tighter to the skin here and also get that nice meaty part of the quad. So I pull down towards my knee and then pull out towards my outer thigh. So now that pad is sitting directly on top of my thigh. I'm tightening it down, making sure it is nice and snug, hugged into the thigh there, and we are good to go. So kind of on the middle part of the thigh there, that nice meaty part, a couple inches down away from the groin, sitting nice and snug. I would do my other side and then finish with my vest. So giving that vest a nice little tug down towards the hips, just making sure it is sitting nice and low on my body. And then starting with the adjustment straps down by my hips, I am pulling both sides forward at the same time, corseting it in nice and tight, working my way up here, getting all 8 of these guys and finishing with the ones up by the armpit here. So I am nice and tight through the torso. And then I'm finishing with the shoulders. So shoulders, grabbing on here and giving a nice tug down, using that Velcro at the front, and then taking a shoulder adjustment that we like to suggest. There's some extra fabric kind of up bunched by the shoulders. We like to stick our fingers beneath that buckle and give a pull down and forward of that extra fabric. With my sizing, I don't get a ton, but with some sizing, there is a good little chunk there. So just like to pull that down and forward, helping the chest lay nice and flat. With that armband, we're going to grab it, fold those pads in towards each other. And as we're taking that fold, we are looping our elastic band into that D-ring. So I'm making a nice circle here. Before putting it on my arm, I'm taking that tab in towards my inner body with the Velcro facing up. I'll slide my arm in and then take the elastic part of that band to the inside of the bicep here and tighten it down. So the meaty part or the inside of my bicep is what is open with that elastic and tightening it down. So we can see the outside of my arm has those two connection points that are arm cables will connect up and over to onto the vest, and the inside has that small gap there. Alrighty. That is our suit setup. Nice and quick. When I'm taking it off, I am loosening everything. I'm doing all of my buckles. Just most important for storage, helping it stay in great shape and making it easy to suit up next time I'm here. Everything nice and loose. And I'm done. And then it will stay as one piece. I'm grabbing my armband, hanging it on my vest here, and then it will go right back on my hanger for storage. One tip here that can be helpful as well is storing it inside out. So we can flip those pads around before putting it on the hanger. So rather than facing with the black shell out, it is now hanging with the electrodes out, and this will give it some better airflow as well as it's hanging and drying out this afternoon. Alrighty. Ooh, I feel like I did my workout for the day, just getting up and doing that. Okay, good there on suit fits. We do have a really great onboarding guide that you likely have seen if you've entered the app or started working out with Katalyst. It is always there for you to go back to and revisit. It will go through all of those steps that I just went through, step by step, and really break it down. You also have the ability to jump from step to step, so you don't have to sit through the whole 5 minute spiel. You can go to the specific part of the suit that you're most curious about. So this onboarding guide does live in that more section in your app. So tap on the lower right corner, more, and it is that getting started panel. So that will take you directly to Michael's video so you can review that suit prep at any time that you may need to. All right, suit longevity. I kind of already covered this, jumped ahead a little bit, but making sure we are loosening our straps, hanging to dry between sessions, not putting it back into the box or in a unventilated place, so somewhere it can breathe. Um, you're welcome to wash the base layers between each workouts. These go on a delicate cycle, gentle detergent, and I like to hang dry mine. They're okay to go in the dryer, but we'll have a little bit more longevity hang dry there. Washing the suit, you don't need to wash the suit after every session. We like to say like every couple of months or maybe once a quarter, you'll start to notice the suit will never smell. It is antimicrobial, so it'll never get stinky. But you will start to notice like little sweat marks around like the collarbone or the armpits with like evaporated salts. So that's a good indicator that maybe things are getting a little dirty and it's time to give it a wash. We do like to recommend zipping up the vest and attaching the shorts, those thigh pads, and tossing it in the washing machine, gentle cycle, cold water, delicate detergent, and then hang dry the suits. It does not go in the dryer. Also, if you have a laundry bag is recommended to toss that suit in and use that for washing as well. We also have some really helpful resources available to you guys to check out as questions appear. We have a great YouTube channel with some pro tip videos plugged into it, some also other really great content on there. Our care team is available for one-on-one sessions. If you have any questions about like your suit fits or training questions, you're welcome to book a one-on-one Zoom question with us and have a little chat there. We love doing those. And then we also have our Katalyst chat right on the website. So if you ever have a quick question that you need answered right away, you're welcome to use that chat bot and get your question answered there. Our content publications, very exciting. These are all the content that we put out. So new content is put out weekly. It is being released every Monday. and you will see that right on the home screen in the What's New carousel. So you can always see what is freshly released there. We do have some really great new series that have been released. We have our Building Resilient Joints. Those are fun because the workouts come in various different lengths. So a little bit fun to test out there and really great just for building mobility and resiliency through your joints. We also have a great functional fitness series. We have a beginner version with Max and an advanced version with Michael. I'm currently working through the advanced with Michael, and I have been sore for days. I did it on Saturday, and his workouts there are really great. So, two really fun series to test out there. And we also have new trainers that are fresh on the app. We have Casey and Moses. So, take a look for their faces on the app as well. All righty,
Okay.
Q&A. I think Val's going to pop in here with some questions we've
I
collected.
will.
Um, I'm in the hot seat. I'm ready to answer.
Okay, I'm gonna spotlight you because I think that's just a little nicer. There we go. We can see you well. A lot of questions, I will say, which is really exciting, and we've answered some throughout the chat and the session. But I'm gonna go actually back to the beginning and make sure we cover those now. Okay, a couple similar ones. I'm gonna combine a few. Were about for example, I've been lifting free weights for many years. Can I keep lifting in between using Catalyst, and how do you recommend scheduling it? And a similar question was about I do regular strength training. Now with Catalyst, what could a schedule look like if I combine my regular weightlifting or strength training plus now Catalyst? If you can speak to that a little bit, Cameron.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Catalyst is designed to be supplemental to your typical strength training, or it could be replacing as well. It sounds like in these questions, we're looking for supplemental as someone that loves strength training in the gym. I'm one of those individuals as well, so I really resonate with that. You want to think about your strength training sessions in the gym similar to your strength or power mode workouts with Catalyst. So, that same amount of rest between sessions and really listening to your body. So if you're in the gym working out on Monday, likely best to wait to do a catalyst until Wednesday or Thursday. And then again, give another day or two rest before heading back into the gym for that strength session. And really just listening to the body. So if you're feeling sore and worn out from Catalyst, give your body some time before heading back into those strength sessions in the gym. Like I mentioned, I did Max's workout on Saturday. Typically, I lift on Mondays and I was not able to. So I didn't lift again until Tuesday because I was so sore. So just listening to your body there and treating them on that same cadence that we recommend our Catalyst workouts.
Awesome, thank you. When did actually on that thing that just came in, which we can address right away from um, Narciso, and I'm so sorry if I'm butchering the name, but that is a beautiful name. The question is, can you lift weights while doing a catalyst session? So we're talking about alternating, and now it's kind of a question of maybe doing it at the same time, which if you can speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So wearing the Catalyst suit and lifting or using external load, so machines or dumbbells or barbells, is not recommended. The reason for this is because as your intensities are getting ramped up through your suit, it can be common to feel like your fingers curl up or lose really great control through upper extremities. So we would never want you to be holding onto a weight or in an external loaded position and not have that control that you need to be in a safe space. The catalyst is also so effective in giving you those eccentric and concentric muscle group work that you don't need that external load. When you are moving with that thing on, it is like you are holding those 20 pounds dumbbells doing that bicep curl. So completely not necessary and also not recommended.
Perfect, thank you. Always a great question from Frank, kind of on the workout intensity bit. How do I tell if the intensity is too much? And then how do I ensure that it's set appropriately for each muscle group? And then a good example that he shared was in my last workout, I found that doing a fly was quite easy, but a reverse fly was more difficult. So I guess the question is really, how do I tell if intensity is too much? What is the right one for different muscle groups? And maybe why could it feel differently in different parts of the body?
Yeah. Okay. I might need you to circle back if I miss parts of this here. So one way to tell that your intensities are correct is looking for that nice squeeze and release of the muscle groups. And we like to feel that evenly throughout the full body. So I like to start at the beginning of my workout, head into that channel drawer and just scan head to toe, make sure everything feels like it's picking up and working evenly there. One indicator that your intensities may be too high is if you're finishing a workout, you're a day or two later and you are like ridiculously sore and worn out, you might have gone a little too pedal to the metal in your workout. So just taking note of that for your next time. But when you're in that session, you want to make sure you are keeping great range of motion while performing your exercises. So if your intensities are so high, like on that fly, that you can't even get your arms up all the way to the side, that's a good indicator that your intensities are too high. Similar to if you were lifting weights, you wouldn't be able to get those weights up to the side safely. You're feeling for that same thing with your catalyst. What other parts am I missing here, Val? I know there might have been a few other pieces there.
No, I think that was good. It really was what does it feel when it's too much, which I think you spoke to, and what's a good intensity just for different muscle groups, which I know is a hard question because it's so individual. But no, I think you answered it really well. So thank you. Um, I have so many questions here, and I'm like trying to find a good flow to it, but we might be jumping around a little bit, which I think is maybe fine. Um, you talked a little bit and did a tutorial on how to prep the suit, the spring, the arm pads. But this question does come up, right? It takes sometimes longer to prep the suit when you're beginning, and then over time you might get faster. Um, but a question here was from Jeffrey. Besides our spray bottle, are there other alternative methods to maybe wet the pads? Is there any tricks to make that process faster?
Yeah, so we do get asked this question a lot. So we also hear some very creative ways that individuals choose to wet down their suits. There is not an alternative method that is recommended by our team. Again, just back to that pad is multi-layered. So we like that pressurized use of water getting injected into that pad. Alternatively, you could choose to wet down the base layers, or not alternatively, in addition to, you may choose to wet down your base layers as well, just to give that extra barrier of water. But there are not other recommended ways to wet down your suit from the Katalyst team.
Thank you. Let's see. Then we had a question. This is a really good question, actually. I mean, they're all great, but just to clarify, so does our app keep track of your progress from one session to the next? Is it progressive over the training weeks, or do I need to keep track of it separately and making sure that I myself increase it week over week? And I think that's speaking to kind of the intensity settings that you have for each workout session.
Yes. So, a little bit more about intensities there and answering the question. Intensities are specific to each mode, which I think I forgot to mention while explaining. So they're siloed into each mode. If you're working out at 200 in strength, you may not be at 200 in cardio. So those will be a little bit different from mode to mode. The question of gradual increase there, the intensity will increase throughout each workout and based on your manual adjustments, but it will not increase over time. So it's not built in to know this is week 6 of Cameron's training, time to ramp it up. Rather, it's taking note of, okay, in the last session, Cameron ended at 150, so we will make sure she ends at 150 again. So it's taking tab of the amount of times you are hitting that manual increase button and adjusting that into your starting intensity for the next session.
Awesome. Thank you, Cameron. And then there were quite a few questions on, and I'm going to just combine them into one. And this is great, I think, just to like repeat and rehash is adjustments and how to best position the arm strap. There was quite a few questions on what's the right positioning, and then you kind of covered, but maybe you can even bring the arm strap up again and just do another, kind of a repeat of it because it is an important part.
Yeah, and I recognize I was a little away from the camera there on well, so we'll do a up close and personal here. So on that arm pad, I'm making my loop here. And then before I put it on the body, I'm bringing that tab in towards the inner line of the body rather than facing towards the outside of the body. So it's towards my inner line. My Velcro is facing up towards the top. I'm sliding my arm through here. And then if I'm flexing my bicep like this, the inside here is the part that is open with the Velcro. So I tighten it down. I've got that nice elastic strap on the meaty part of my bicep, and then I am wrapping around, tightening it down. So my buttons are on the outside of my arm here, and the inside has that little bit of a gap. And that gap will look slightly different on everybody as well, just based on armband size as well as bicep size. But there should be some sort of gap here on the inside. What's most important is that the top of the bicep, as well as the outside and the tricep here, has that electrode pad following it. But as long as you're following that framework of the elastic here on this meaty part, you should be positioned correctly.
Perfect. And actually, kind of while you're still on the arm pad, this is on the connectors, those little wires that we have to connect the arm pads. Question was, any strategies for keeping the wires from maybe popping off? Because there's some movements and obviously like the distance. I think Eric mentioned I've been anchoring the wires by sandwiching them between the Velcro, which, you know, maybe you shouldn't have to do that, right? So maybe
Right.
you can speak to any strategies or the way you position it is kind of the optimal way for the connectors to be in a good spot during a workout.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the snaps here on the outside of my arm, we should have good distance here and tilt down here to come across the top of the body, and then it would attach onto my vest here. I have seen some uses where our members will put them down under the arm and then snap on. And this is where we see a lot of those detachments because the arm is coming down and pulling those snaps off. So as long as the snaps are on the outside here and we are traveling across the top of the body to attach, we should be good to go there and not see those detachments.
Perfect. That's a great example. Okay, I think that's it on the arm straps. But still in the theme of suit adjustment and having the right compression, a few questions that popped in were I'm having tingling sensations. How can I how can I avoid that? Is there tips and tricks? So that's the first question. Tingling sensation in different parts. What can you do to avoid that?
Yeah, so tingling, we want to make sure everything is as wet as possible. So even if you can't think you can add any more water, add more. And also making sure everything is nice and snug. So following those exact suit setup steps that I gave should make sure everything is adjusted and seated on the body as we would like it to be. Once the suit is on, or if you're ever feeling those tinglings during a workout, you can always add extra water beneath or between the base layer and your suit. So just taking the nozzle of that spray bottle and sticking it in like at the armpit or in the glute pad, wherever there's an opening, and giving that spray just to add a little extra moisture there is really helpful.
Perfect. And I'm still in the same vein of the suit. There was a question about the shoulder straps. Maybe you can just repeat that up when you're adjusting the shoulder strap and there might be some extra fabric. What's the best way to really make it super compressed and tight?
Yes, yeah. So as you're putting it on, you'll see that extra fabric at the shoulder kind of bunch up there. And it can stay bunched, which isn't optimal. It could fold backward, which isn't optimal, or it can fold forward, which is what we like to see. So the best way to kind of adjust that and feel for it is you'll stick your finger under that buckle at the shoulder. I'm trying to decide if it'd be helpful to stick my vest back on here seated. But just sticking that finger under the buckle and just pulling that fabric down and forward is really helpful and makes a huge difference there.
Ah, lovely. No, that's great. Thank you, Cameron. I think we've gone through a lot of the questions. I know some have been answered directly in the chat. So I'm going to keep monitoring. We might jump into the slides, a few more just to close it out. But while we do that, please pop any additional questions and we'll make sure to cover those here in the last few minutes.
Awesome. Alrighty. So a quick shout out to our Transformations podcast. This is hosted by our CEO, Bjorn. And he has been hosting current members with Catalyst and kind of talking about their journey, their transformation and experience with Catalyst. And it's really super inspirational and enlightening to listen to. All of these individuals have really just incredible life stories, but then to see how Catalyst has kind of warped into their life is very cool. Also, to know that you have that product on hand and can use it in the same great ways they have is fun to listen to. So, these are on our YouTube channel. You're able to watch the live video or the recorded video of Bjorn and our members speaking together. And then we also have a lot of really great ways to connect. We are active on Instagram. Feel free to follow us, shoot us a DM there. Always happy to chat with everybody. We're also on YouTube, as previously mentioned, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok as well. Alrighty. Any other questions that trickled in, Val? I'm warmed up and ready to keep going.
I know. You know what? Our team, Isabel and Josie, have been on there typing away quickly. So I think we're good. But again, I mean, I want to say thank you, Cameron. This was great. Thank you for walking us through this, exactly an hour almost. And for everyone that joined, thank you so much for all the questions and for being so engaging in the chat. Like this is truly why we're doing this. And couple plugs. If you have any more questions and you just want like a one-on-one session with our team, reach out to support@katalyst.com to schedule a one-on-one Zoom session. It can be about fit, sizing, compression, a workout plan, you name it. It's just a way for us to really make sure that you get the most out of your Catalyst experience. Um, and secondly, this is a reoccurring segment. So we're doing these sessions every 2 weeks. So if you joined once, you're more than welcome to join literally every time or whenever you feel like you want a refreshment of the content or just want to pop in, say hi, ask some questions. But again, this is recorded. We'll share it. Cameron, anything you want to say to close it out? I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, nothing exciting to add, but thank you all for being here. It really is so fun to get to interact with our members and have this time together. So we love that you guys are here. And yes, please come back in the future or reach out to us at supports. We're always happy to chat with you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.